Alright, I think we're set. Get this off of here. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I hadn't streamed like this in a while. Also, I apologize if you hear a radio going in the background. I had the sports animal turned on for obvious reasons. It's only halftime right now of that game anyway. I'm gonna make sure my mic is sounding all right. Make sure my mic. Holy shit! Wait. You was wanting Detroit to win. Wait, let me guess. Seahawks fan. 'Cause if I remember right, that was the only way the Seahawks was getting in is if the Lions beat the Packers. Yeah. Okay. Hold up. No, why the chat is not working well on Streamlabs here? Okay. Okay, there we go. Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Seahawks fan. But yeah, I figured today we would kind of go into like the NFL playoffs here, kind of break it down. I'm gonna minimize that so I can actually see what I'm doing. So we've got an interesting slate of games to say the least. So I think we'll start with the Saturday lineup. So we got Seahawks, 49ers, Chargers, Jaguars. Okay, so obviously we got round three here. Seahawks and 49ers. Niners a 10-point favorite, which I'm gonna be honest, that actually sounds about right. I feel like Brock Purdy's good, but I do wonder if, say, you get Trey Lance or Jimmy Garoppolo, if Trey Lance or Jimmy G was able to go, makes you wonder if the line would have been bigger. So it was 27-7 and 21-13. I I'm not gonna lie, I could see where the line's at 10, but I would not be shocked if that line were higher if, say, Jimmy G could go. Chargers, Jaguars. Does not look like the line on this one is very big. We got the line at a 1.5-point favorite for Jacksonville, I believe. See, here's my thing with this game. The fact that Jaguars Chargers, on paper, this one could be interesting, but I think the Chargers had a couple defensive players go and get injured. And while neither quarterback has went to the playoffs, honestly, I would have to take Doug Peterson over Brandon Staley because that guy's got the analytical mind of a damn toaster. They've got him as a 1.5-point favorite. Surprised the line's not bigger than that. Seeing the fact that Brandon Staley is a total whack job. I don't know, Nicholas. I could see it, but at the same time, we're going to have to wait and see because, well, I'm not betting against Brady, but we'll get to that one in a little bit. Chargers Jaguars on paper, honestly, like I said, Brandon Staley. I don't even know how the Chargers fluked their way into the playoffs. I actually have to look at their schedule, but I think they had a pretty paper soft schedule going into the final stretch. And then the Sunday lineup, we got Dolphins at Bills. Bills a 10-point favorite. I mean, that's pretty much what I just said, but I'll get to that one in a little bit. And we got Giants at Vikings. Well, the line's only 3 in that one. Ravens at Bengals. No Lamar Jackson. I'm just going to put it to you this way. If there's no Lamar Jackson, I've got no optimism for Baltimore. I think you're going to have to fire Staley either way because he's on paper, he's a terrible coach. And like I said, he's got the analytical mind of a toaster. And then we got Cowboys at Bucks. The line on that one's not a very big one either. 3 points. So Dolphins, Bills. Honestly, when the Dolphins are down to Skylar Thompson, you know it's gone bad for Miami. I try not to think about Skylar Thompson when he was at Kansas State because that is the one man us OU fans do not like to think of. Because anytime we got beat by Kansas State, that guy was the quarterback. The only difference is he's just not a good NFL quarterback. He was a good college QB. Just not a fan of him just not a fan of what he did to OU when he was at Kansas State. Giants and Vikings. I mean, on paper, the Vikings are the favorite, but I would not be shocked if Kirk Cousins finds a way to piss this game away. Because we've all seen this movie before. Yeah, no kidding. He's probably going to go for it on 4th and 23. He's probably going to go for it on 4th and 23, only to throw a pick 6 or something. Only Philadelphia has got that lucky. Wait, I think it was Philadelphia. Wait, was it Philadelphia or Green Bay that got 4th and 26? I can't remember. There's when Favre was with the Packers. Giants Vikings could go either way, but seeing that the line is only 3, this has got slugfest written all over it. Like I said, because it's like Kirk Cousins, we know he's not good in the spotlight. Daniel Jones, I still think they're going to move on from him because he is not a franchise quarterback. Like if him and Lamar Jackson have one thing in common, neither can stay healthy. Because it's like look at Daniel Jones the last 2 years. That dude could not stay healthy one bit. Okay, I mean, you could make the argument he was poorly coached then, but still, it's like he was a reach. It's like he was graded as a 3rd round pick for a reason. Number 1 pick. You're going to have to be more specific there. I don't get what you mean by number 1 pick. If you're talking about Danny Dirks, he wasn't the 1st overall pick. That was Kyler Murray. He went 6th overall, if that's what you was referring to. But, yeah, that game's got slugfest written all over it. Ravens, Bengals. I'll put it to you this way. If they start Anthony Brown again, that is not – I have no optimism for Baltimore if they go with Anthony Brown. How this guy's in the NFL, I don't know. A lot of people didn't like him when he was at Oregon. Cowboys, Bucks. On paper, you would think Tampa Bay would be the favorite. Honestly, if I were you guys, I would probably trade down and go get Justin Fields, a wide receiver, or maybe go get an offensive lineman, because that should be the Bears' top priority. I already feel like there's going to be a quarterback needy team like the Raiders, the Colts, someone like that try to trade up. Anyway, Cowboys, Bucks. On paper, you would think the Bucks have the advantage because Tom Brady has always beaten the Cowboys. Only reason I think I'm going to take Tampa Bay in this one is because Dak has been playing sloppy. And I'll basically put it to you this way: if okay, if the Cowboys lose big, I think everyone in Dallas is getting fired, and I would not be shocked if Dak gets shipped off because at the same time, it's all like I feel like Mike McCarthy is not the guy, and it's like I said, if they lose by a lot, I would not be shocked if Jerry Boy cleans house. Oh, that's Mitch Trubisky, no doubt. Trubisky was probably the biggest bust of they drafted of all time, and I don't think he's going. I don't know if he's coming out of retirement. If he does, I think he's going to Denver. He's either going to Denver. Yeah, he's probably going to Denver because I think basically what I think he's holding out for Denver and he's holding out to see if the Chargers fire Staley. Realistically, if he comes out of retirement, those are the only jobs I see him taking. If I'm Peyton, I don't know if I go to Dallas because it's all like there's better quarterbacks out there to work with than Dak. Also, it's going to be interesting to see what Sean McVay does in the offseason because if you really think about it, there's rumors McVay could step down. Getting back to what I was saying about Cowboys Bucks, so realistically, the only reason I'd take Tampa in this one is because Dak has been playing sloppy. I think he leads the league in interception. Well, yeah, but I'm just saying he was still a bust because he was a late round pick at best. And I don't understand why they traded with San Francisco to move up one spot because Cleveland wasn't going to take him. San Francisco sure as hell wasn't going to take him. That's that's essentially how that one goes. Uh, yeah, it's all like I don't know. It's like Cowboys Bucks at the same time has the potential to be a good game, but I just don't see it. Not with the way Dak has been playing. And then obviously we got the divisional round next week, championships the week after, and then we got the Super Bowl. No offense, but if you would have took Mahomes, he would have been a bust with Matt Nagy in Chicago. In fact, there's several. In fact, if I remember, Urinating Tree was one of the guys that said that because I feel like with Mahomes, he was very raw coming out of Texas Tech. He went to the best situation possible. If say there were quite a few places he could have went, where he would have been a bust. I know Tree basically the way Urinating Tree saw it, he thought it was always Deshaun Watson that the Bears should have taken. It's like I said, Mahomes coming out of Texas Tech was raw, and sitting behind Alex Smith was probably the best thing that could have happened to him, in my eyes at least. All right, I can just get this up. Mm, all right, so this is essentially what I think I'm going with right here. Now, I could have honestly went either way. The only reason I would have put Jacksonville in that tier was because I don't think they're going to be a one and done. Because I think Brandon Staley is going to find some way to piss the game away for LA's mistake. Who still should be in San Diego. Dallas and Baltimore are probably definite one and done. Baltimore, like I said, if they get Lamar back, I think they've got a chance. But if not, then they're probably going to have to. They're going to have to roll. Oh, I done forgot his name now. Oh yeah, Anthony Brown. I mean, it's their first year. Do you really think they're going to get fired after year one? I'll tell you what's definitely going to happen with Tampa. Brady, I think, is hanging it up because it's all like I just don't see him playing another year. But yeah, it's like Tampa's ceiling at best is the divisional round where they will probably lose to either probably lose to the Vikings if they're still alive. I say if. Oh, San Francisco. Wait, actually, I'm not really. I'll have to look at the bracket, see how that plays out. Uh, Realistically, the only three teams I like to actually make a run to the Super Bowl is Bills, the Chiefs, obviously, and then the Eagles. I mean, until somebody proves they can take down Mahomes again, it's pretty much those three, and then everybody else. Actually, on bracket, I saw. I mean, either way, I wouldn't know Nicholas because I hadn't really seen much of Tampa. Okay, here we go. I found it. Okay, so okay, I was right. The lowest remaining seed would go to the top seeds. So okay, so say the Giants beat the Vikings, they go to Philadelphia, and then that means Tampa, if they win, would go to San Francisco. That is where I say Tampa would meet their match because they already lost big to a San Francisco team led by Brock Purdy. And then looking at the other side of the bracket, what's interesting because I don't see Miami beating Buffalo, not with Skylar Thompson at quarterback. Uh, Baltimore, obviously, like I said, I've got no optimism for them if they have Anthony Brown at quarterback. Okay, so you'd be looking at Jacksonville going to Kansas City, and yeah, that's gonna hold up. They played once already. No, actually, no, it might be a ball game. Last they played, it was 27-17, but winning at Arrowhead is not an easy thing to do. But yeah, I think that's what it's going to shape out to be. Because like, okay, better yet, because like, okay, if Lamar's healthy, they have a puncher's chance at beating the Bengals. So if you do that, then you get Baltimore going to Kansas City, and then Okay, yeah, you got Baltimore going to Kansas City, and then you got Jacksonville going to Buffalo. Huh, that's going to be interesting. Uh, oh, I actually want to look at who's the favorite to win the Super Bowl. I am willing to bet that Kansas City is probably the odds-on favorite to win it. I would not be shocked. Uh, Um, okay, I think I see it right here. No, I think he's retiring. I mean, you can tell by his style, by the way he's played, he's done. I mean, and you gotta think it's probably bad enough his divorce is playing a role in that. Okay, so obviously Seahawks, the Dolphins, the Giants, and Jaguars are all long shots given their odds. And then long shots, you've got LA, Tampa, Minnesota, Baltimore. Although I think, realistically, I do think that the Chargers need to be in the dreamers and not long shots, just because, like I said, Brandon Staley's going to find a way to screw it up. Oh yeah, there's no doubt. Miami's done for. They are screwed going into Buffalo, especially when you're having to start Skylar Thompson. I mean, even if Tua's healthy, okay, if Tua's healthy, I give you guys a small chance. But I wouldn't even give you guys that much a chance, even if Teddy Bridgewater was starting. Honestly, this offseason, that's what Miami is going to have to go and look for a suitable backup. That's why I said I would not be shocked if they go after Jimmy Garoppolo as a backup, because realistically, I just don't see Teddy Bridgewater or Skylar Thompson being your solid QB2. Yeah, that's why I say Tua is finally in an offensive system that benefits his style of play. That's why I said Mike McDaniel has been better off for Miami, and he is a Shanahan disciple. And I have been a fan of Kyle Shanahan's offense, his like offensive scheme. Okay, and then the next odds you got Dallas, Cincinnati. Then you got Philly, San Francisco, and then of course the Chiefs are the favorite. So you got Chiefs at 350 plus 350, Buffalo, the Bills at plus 400. Oh, it's Josh McDaniels, and it's not. Well, I say Josh McDaniels, but I also think you have to put Nathaniel Hackett at the top of that list. No, if no, I mean I'm probably actually gonna do a vid of worst coaches in the league, but we'll hold off on that one for now. Okay, and then obviously, so you're like I said, I think the three teams to make it are going to be the Chiefs, Bills, and Eagles. I mean, I know the Niners are slightly favored, but I'm going to say this: if like the Niners win it, you're looking at a 2000 Ravens situation and a 2016 Broncos situation. No, 2015 Broncos situation in which quarterback play was shaky, but your defense was carried. I mean, if you even think about it, Peyton Manning even admitted the Denver defense carried him to Super Bowl 50. Kingsbury should have never been hired to be the coach. And the problem is he used Kyler more for his legs than his arm, and now look at Kyler. He got sidelined with an ACL tear. I honestly would not be shocked if Josh McDaniels is on the hot seat because that guy's proving he can't coach worth a shit. He really can't. I never was a fan of McDaniels. And don't try to say they're going to go after Tom Brady either, because I think Brady's done. And I don't see why he'd want to go to the Raiders anyway, because their offensive line is not good. What I'm going to be interested to see is who goes after Derek Carr, especially with that salary, or if they wait and see if he's released. But I'll save that for another stream or another video. Yeah, that's exactly, but still, I stand by my point. But yeah, it's like I said, only three teams realistically I like about the only three teams I like to win it are Buffalo, Kansas City, and Philadelphia, with San Francisco as a slight dark horse. Yeah, but here's the thing. I don't think Josh Jacobs is going to stay with the Raiders. In my opinion, I think basically, I think the Raiders are probably about to blow up their roster because Carr is gone. I think Jacobs is probably going to go somewhere in free agency. Uh, Devontae, he's probably going to get shipped out. That's why I said the Raiders, I think, are about to start tanking because it's like they don't have a quarterback. Your star running back is probably going to leave. Yeah, the Raiders are a mess. And ownership for the Raiders is a mess. That's just like I said. I have next to no optimism for that roster. Denver, like I said, Russell Wilson fell off the cliff this year, and I got no idea what they're going to do with Wilson. Oh, I wouldn't be shocked if Crosby and Jones get traded out of there. Because, like I said, I think you're about to see the Raiders blow it up completely. Denver wishes they could blow up their roster. They just can't with Russell Wilson's bloated salary. And unfortunately, I send my condolences to the Raiders because this is pretty much the Raiders situation in a nutshell.
They run out of time in the end, and the offensive coordinator, Dorsey.
I'm not wrong. I'm not wrong. But yeah, it's not looking good for the Raiders. Really, the only team that's got optimism in that division is the Chargers, and that is only if they get rid of Staley. Because I do not think Staley he makes way too many mistakes. And I don't know. I think there's going to be a lot of teams that's got some major questions to answer. Tampa Bay being one of them. Dallas. I'm not going to put Tennessee and Atlanta in that category just yet, just because their quarterback situation is, well, actually, Atlanta's another topic for another day. Tennessee, though, I think they can move off. They can move on from Tannehill, but I do still think you got to give Malik Willis another year to develop. I'm going to actually disagree with you there, Nicholas, because I think Carr is good, but he hasn't been put in a fair situation where he can win. Now, I could actually see Tampa Bay going after Carr, because if Brady retires again, which I think he will, they're going to be looking for a quarterback, unless you want to see him trot out Kyle Trask. And even then, I don't even know if Kyle Trask has the skill set to be a starter. Because he was what, a late second rounder? And yes, there have been second, third rounders go on to be starters. Look at Russell Wilson, for example. But Trask coming out of Florida, it's like when he came off that ankle injury, his mobility wasn't the same again. So you're saying you say Carr's not reliable, but you grab well, like I said, it's Trask. He did not have the best year coming out of Florida, and like I said, I was it an ankle injury or an ACL tear? I can't remember which one. But he got injured one of those ways, and his mobility took a nosedive after that. It's like pre-injury, he was looking like a late first round pick. After the injury, not so much. Well, that and like I said, Florida wasn't the greatest to begin with, even before they had him. Uh, yeah, mm, I think Atlanta needs a lot more than a QB. That's probably at the top of their short list, but I think they need a lot more than just that. That's why I say I'd put them in that tier with Vegas. Except differences with Vegas, I think they're about to blow up their roster because, like I said, they don't have a quarterback. I think you got to trade away your stars. Josh Jacobs is likely gone. The fact that I still don't understand why they declined his fifth-year option because that's the kind of guy you would accept his fifth-year option. And you're going to have a lot of teams with question marks going into free agency because, like I said, you don't know what the Giants or Seahawks are going to do with their situation. Baltimore's at a crossroads. Tennessee and Atlanta are in a weird state. It's like because Tennessee, it's all like they need a quarterback and they've been firing their coordinators left and right. The Raiders are a mess. Denver is in cap hell right now, especially with Russell Wilson's bloated contract. Like I said, they're another topic for another day, Nicholas, because it goes far beyond quarterback for them. I start to wonder if Arthur Smith is the right guy as well, because it's all like he was a good coordinator with Tennessee, and look how downhill Tennessee went when they had Todd Downing. And Todd Downing's a terrible coordinator. But yeah, it's like I said, you got teams with a lot of questions because it's all like you don't know what the Giants or Seahawks are going to do with their quarterback situation. Baltimore's at a crossroads. Tennessee and Atlanta have a lot of questions to answer. Dallas, I got no idea what they're going to do. Denver in cap hell. New Orleans is in cap hell, and I don't think they're sticking with Jameis, especially when you consider the fact that Dennis Allen would rather start an Andy Dalton that's washed up over a Jameis Winston. Well, but in Jameis's case, he could not stay healthy. That's why I say I think the buck starts with head coach because I don't think Arthur Smith knows how to use him right. I also would not be shocked if Pitts demands a trade to somebody who will actually use him. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of questions going into this offseason. I'm interested to see what the Jets are going to do because I think Zach Wilson's a dead man walking. Because after the Patriots game, it was evident he was not their answer. It's all like outside of Wilson, who else are you going to go with? Flacco is washed up. Mike White is good in short doses, but I wouldn't say he's your full-time starter. And I don't know. And like I said, it's all like you look at this year's draft, and this is not a very good quarterback draft. Well, yeah, you got Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud, Will Levis, but those aren't guys I'd want to trade up for. And I don't even know why Will Levis's stock has risen. I've seen his Kentucky highlights, and I don't see anything about him that screams top 10 pick. It's like he's got a strong arm, but I feel like Levis is the kind of guy you draft that's going to get people fired. That's the kind of guy I think Will Levis is. Like, I'm going to be honest. Who was the last Kentucky quarterback to get drafted in the first round? I want to say it's Tim Couch. I'm not sure. And Tim Couch was a bust. But in the Browns' defense, they kind of ruined him trying to play him through injury, similar to what Washington did with RG3. I have to go to Pro Football Reference. Uh, so it appears the last Kentucky quarterback to get drafted completely was Andre Woodson in the 6th round. And then before that, you didn't have one get drafted until Tim Couch, who was the first overall pick in the 99 draft. And we both know, and we all know what happened with him. Wow. Huh. I'm kind of surprised George Blanda was not a top pick. He was drafted in the 12th round in the 1949 draft, and I'm pretty sure he's a Hall of Famer. Cordell Stewart. Eh, Cordell Stewart was meh. I mean, he kind of had a decent career with the Steelers and whatnot, but he wasn't that great in my opinion. That'd probably be a urinating tree question because he's a diehard Steelers fan. I mean, to be fair, the NFC East, all four teams were actually decent this year. The only problem with the Commanders, they didn't have a quarterback. And then the Giants were much improved. Philadelphia is thriving under Nick Sirianni's offense. Dallas, no, Dallas is a pretender. And like I said, Dak has played terrible. And and I'm gonna pull something up here. Yeah, it's all. Oh wait, no, that's not what I was actually. Not. Okay, wait, here we go. Actually, I said Dak was a. I said Dak was leading interceptions. I might have been wrong on that. Okay, I was close. Davis Mills and Dak Prescott both lead the league in interceptions. Who had and it looks like as for least interceptions, it looks like Trevor Lawrence, Baker Mayfield, Matthew Stafford, and Tua are all tied with the least amount at 8. Well, yeah, I kind of agree with that to an extent. The only thing with the Clippers have at least had some success lately. Dallas, they haven't been to an NFC championship since Troy Aikman was their quarterback. I mean, not really, Javier. If you think about it, it's kind of a fair comparison, but at the same time, I don't know. That's wouldn't necessarily know what to think about that one, to be fair. But yeah, it's yeah, it's like I said, I'm gonna probably do another stream or video about it. There's going to be a lot of teams with a lot of questions to answer this off season. I'm interested to see what Baltimore does, because, and I'm sure I'm going to have people comment on that. I uh, I still believe Lamar is going to walk because if the Ravens aren't going to pay him what he wants, I could see him going to other teams. Eh, I don't know. I'm usually not locked in the NBA till after the Super Bowl or after the All Star break. Even though I do got the Thunder game going on the radio in the background. Am I paying attention to it right now? Not really, but it's whatever. Uh, it's getting cold in here. Ugh. Baltimore needs receive. Baltimore might be about to be looking for a new head coach because I think John Harbaugh and Greg Roman, those two are probably dead man walking right now. Because, like I said, if they lose to the Bengals like I think they're going to, I honestly would not be shocked if both those guys get fired. And here's the reason why Baltimore don't have receivers, because nobody wants to play in a power run offense like that. They had Hollywood Brown until Arizona traded for him, which I still questioned that trade. But they needed a receiver with DeAndre Hopkins being out, but a first round pick for Hollywood Brown. I don't understand the logic on that. Uh, yeah, it's all like pretty much if you're Baltimore right now.
They run out of time in the end, and the offensive coordinator, Dorsey.
Yeah, that's Baltimore right now, pretty much. Uh, and here, I'm going to leave that one alone, honest. I'm going to leave that one alone for now just because I don't know. Either way you look at it, you could say the Ravens got lucky, but I will say this. Even after they paid Joe Flacco that gigantic contract, he never was the same again. And Flacco never was an elite quarterback. Yep. Flacco had one really good season, and then he fell off. He's been a backup ever since. He was a backup. He was a backup in Denver and now New York. Well, he almost was a backup in Philadelphia until New York traded for him again. Even then, I still think Flacco is better than Zach Wilson. The only good thing about Zach Wilson are the memes. Like, yeah, if you look up Zach Wilson mother's friend, and Zach Wilson MILF memes, you'll see what I'm talking about. Yeah, no, I do think Harbaugh's on the hot seat. Greg Roman as well, because that offense of theirs is it's not sustainable. It's all like Lamar has strengthened his pocket presence, but in that offense, he's not going to be able to stay in the pocket. Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if Panthers draft a quarterback. My question is, who are they going to hire to be their head coach? Anyway, I think that's going to about wrap it up for this stream. I know it was a short one, but I got things that I got to work on, and I'm wanting to actually try to get to bed early tonight. And I've got a few projects I'm working on, but they're nowhere near complete yet. Stay in touch with the community tab. I usually post all my updates on there and whatnot. But I don't know. I may try to have a new video coming up. I don't know if it's going to be a short machinima or a gaming vid. I don't know, but whatever the case, I'll have something coming up. I've just been like slammed busy the last couple weeks. But yeah, that's about it. I will catch you guys in the next one.
They run out of time in the end, and the offensive coordinator, Dorsey,